Well, Rachel, Mayor Greg Fisher held this event because he wanted to empower local youth to remind them that long before Muhammad Ali was a global icon, he was a kid living in Louisville, just like them. The event will bring in more than $13 million this weekend, making it one of Louisville's top 10 conventions. Investigators say Denny Kellums escaped through the Sally Port of the jail sometime between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. They just had us move back 50 feet in fear that the building might collapse, all lining up along Bardstown Road and in the properties surrounding the funeral home property just to get a glimpse of this procession going by. Many people telling us today that they just felt inclined to come here. They felt the need to come and pay their respects to the greatest, many of them coming armed with those personal stories that we've heard all week of times when Muhammad Ali touched their lives. Investigators believe the heroin was laced with fentanyl, a powerful narcotic used to treat severe pain. Here in Jennings County, deputies say it caused 10 people to overdose, including two 16-year-olds and a 17-year-old. Tonight, they're trying to find the supplier.
Oh, Lord, my God.
We have lost our Daniel. Richmond Police Officer, badge number 457.
A solemn memorial for an officer who answered his last call, a man who embodied the oath behind the badge.
Obviously, we thought he could be a good police officer, but boy, oh boy, were we wrong. He turned out to be a great police officer.
On the eve of the new school year at Parkview Middle School, math and science teacher Stephen Tall is putting the finishing touches on his classroom. Binders in place, rockets on display. The classroom pet.
Kids love them. It's usually the first thing that they flock to when they come in the room.
Free of hunger pains.
I'm often here pretty late the night before, usually till 7 or 8 at night, because the work seems to never be done.
A potent batch of heroin blamed for more than a dozen overdoses in southern Indiana.
And they brought one lady out and she wasn't moving, just her hands, and I thought, how sad.
Gary Dyer lives on Rebecca Court in Seymour, where officers reportedly found 3 people overdosing inside this home. Assistant Police Chief Craig Hayes says the drug was so powerful, it took multiple doses of Narcan to reverse the potent opiate.
At that point, we knew we were dealing with something a little bit different. Usually one dose of Narcan will bring them back pretty quick.
Raced outside, and here come the second ambulance, here come the third ambulance, and police pulled up, and one of them ran with like a, he's going to have a gun, and I thought, uh-oh, this looks bad.
Police would soon find out just how bad it was. In a matter of hours, at least 14 confirmed overdoses. 4 in Seymour, 10 in nearby Jennings County. The powerful drug claiming the life of a 52-year-old woman in North Vernon.
It's a sad, sad situation.
The pitter-patter of a punching bag. A coach's commanding voice. The steady rhythm of a young fighter training. It's places like this where Muhammad Ali was at his best. Long before he was the greatest, this was his refuge from a harsh world. When he reached inside his boxing gloves, there was a feeling of self-worth.
When you think of Muhammad Ali, he had everything. He had speed, he had grace, and boxing is built from the ground up, and he had great feet.
Most of the kids who step inside this gym are just like young Cassius Clay, growing up in the inner city, battling poverty, among other challenges. But inside these 4 walls, there is hope.
Most of the kids that come in this gym, they have adversity, and they're going to have more adversity outside the ring than they are inside the ring. And that's going to be the most important thing, is how are you going to carry yourself outside the ring?
This has never happened to a child in Woodford County.
Between the tears, laughter, cheers, and applause for a little boy who knew no wrong. But boy, did he love to hear those bleachers go wild. Speaking at the funeral, the coach who told Logan, "You give your team everything you have. At the end of the game, if you are unable to walk off the field, we will come get you. We will carry you off the field." And so they did, with his coaches as the pallbearers and his teammates lining the way. 6-year-old Logan Tipton made his final touchdown.
Like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I'm the next Muhammad Ali.
From Grand Avenue to global icon, Louisville's I Am Ali Festival is empowering local youth, reminding them they too can be the greatest. If you could be the greatest at anything, what would you be the greatest at?
Coloring. The greatest gymnast. Basketball player. Oldest. Police. Cheerleading. Greatest cook.
Behind each handwritten message, a child celebrating Muhammad Ali's life.
I wrote, Jada, you're the greatest. R.I.P. champ.
They might not know a lot about the champ, his global influence, or fierce adversity. Perhaps the most important lesson, young Cassius Clay was just like them, a boy growing up in Louisville, a little kid with big dreams.
He was like the famous person ever. Well, my granny went to school with him.
She went to school with him? What did she tell you about him?
That he was a great classmate.
My aunt told me he's pretty much the greatest boxer all time. He did some poets, like one of them I know is float like the butterflies, sting like the bees.
5.5 hours. That's the longest investigators say Denny Kellums Jr. could have been on the run. But in those few short hours, the violent felon left behind a trail of terror.
There's so many loose ends to this right now. You know, the bottom line is, fortunately for the community in the area, we've got a guy who escaped jail and he's contained. He's no longer a threat. That's priority number one.
After Kellums escaped, investigators say he went to Riley gas station, about a block away from the jail. There, he reportedly beat a woman and stole her car. But what happened after that, in the time between the attack and his capture, isn't clear.
At least, as far as we're concerned, the case is at least sealed up. There's nothing else that's going to happen.